I am hungry, but I'm not sure what to make. What is in here? Chorizo. So this is the fat from the other night when I made the eggs Benedict, when I cut down all that pancetta. So I'm gonna make some quesadillas, but I don't have any cheese. So let's go out and get some cheese.
Don't forget all the lovely things we plan to do today.
One of the best parts about living here is there are literally grocery stores everywhere. So I'm gonna head to the grocery store, get some cheese, and I'll be right back. All right, yeah, 4 cheese looks good. Gracias. All right, so quick trip to the grocery store. I'm gonna go back and make this quesadilla. All right, after the trip to the grocery store, I have some cheese here. I found a few more things in my fridge. I've got a red pepper, cilantro, a bit of sour cream, and of course that chorizo I found a second ago. I'm also going to use up this fat from the pancetta to make flour tortillas. A bit of flour, and then I'm gonna add a bit of salt and a bit of hot sauce. So let's get to making our tortilla. All right, I really like making flour tortillas. It's a great way to use up this extra bacon fat. I'm gonna start here, flour. Alexa, how much does a cup of flour weigh in grams? So I'm just gonna mix this in with my hands until I get something that looks, you know, a little bit like wet sand.
Don't forget all the lovely things we plan to do today.
Then add my water until it comes into a dough. After about a minute or so, we should have a smooth ball of dough that we are going to let rest for about 15 minutes or so while we prepare our filling. It's not a very complicated filling. I'm basically getting rid of stuff in my fridge, but I'm going to cut down the chorizo, chop up my herbs, and then we'll move over to the stove. Olive oil, let that heat up for a second. All right, start with our onions, add in our chorizo. Bit of salt brings out the water in the onions. Crushed red peppers, dried oregano, and homemade chili powder. 2 pins. So we're gonna saute these for about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, basically until the onions are translucent. Later, I think we've got this going here, a little bit of char on the bottom, half of the cilantro, kill the heat, and I'm going to set this aside. Tortilla dough here, which has been resting for about 15 minutes or so. I'm going to cut this down, looks like probably into 6 pieces, and then basically just goes in the pan, and we have fresh tortilla. Once, and twice, once, and twice. Roll these up into little balls. Okay, we'll do that with the rest. Bit of flour on our work surface. And we're going to roll each of these out pretty thinly. Once we get this to the thickness that we want, or the thinness that we want, we're going to take this over to a skillet. Place the tortilla about 90 seconds on this first side. We'll flip it over and do 30 seconds on the second side. Once it starts bubbling and blistering up a bit, we're probably good to flip it. And now just about 30 seconds on this side. Looks good. Take this off onto a plate and do the rest of our tortilla. Back on our cutting board, we've got one of these tortillas we just made. On one half, we'll put the chorizo mixture, a lot of cheese, fold it over, and then we'll take this over to the pan. Back on our pan, medium-high heat. Let that heat up for a few seconds. Put our half moon tortillas on the other side. Let those fry for about 4 minutes. Flip it, 4 minutes on the other side. A little bit of sour cream on the side. Sprinkling of salt. And a bit more cilantro. So a quick lunch of cheese and chorizo quesadillas.